Big win today. Responded well from the result the other night. What did the last couple days look like responding and getting to the point where we are today, getting the win?
Yeah, we kind of just had like a next play attitude. We got in Friday and just worried about Monroe and just worried about our identity as a team and just focusing on that.
You talk about it's not easy closing out games in conference. It's hard to win conference games. Can you kind of talk about what were some of the takeaways from Louisiana that you were able to use today to get the win today?
I think we kind of let up at Louisiana a little bit, and then today we just talked about finish this war, and beat them in each war.
Uh, Great crowd today. I know the students are still home, but even with that, another great atmosphere. There's a fun energy in the building for you as players. How cool is that to get to play with a building environment like this?
Man, it's great. It's great. Yeah, they bring us energy every day, so yeah, it's great to play in front of them.
What are some of the positives that you're taking away from today?
Uh, Honestly, I think we found ourselves. We got our identity back a little bit, held them to a low score, and I think we just built on that.
How important was it to get one this week at home, knowing tour games await you next week?
Yep. The thing is, go undefeated at home, split on the road, but you know, got one here, so try to get two next week.
Obviously, been around a little bit here. You
Mm-hmm.
kind of talk to the guys about the journey of conference play of can't get too high, can't get too low. You have to stay yourself and go on. You kind of had those conversations with guys.
I haven't, but I think our coaches have done a great job on just, again, next play attitude, and that's kind of our attitude for next week. So.
Coach, start us off. Take us through the last 24 hours. Obviously, a tough result the other night. Come
Yeah,
back, you respond well, get a win today.
yeah. I think I walked in. I heard somebody say life is tough, and and that's the situation. Like we always try to play the games to win, and but we want to make sure we're doing it the right way, right? And so sometimes I tell our guys, we could have won that game, and we didn't do a lot of things well in that game at times, and we would have never paid attention to them. So that loss helped us in this one to make sure we fine tune and be on the details and understand how important scout report is. I think our coaching staff, Coach Lightfoot and Coach Taylor, did a great job on a one-day turnaround, having us ready offensively, defensively on what we need to be able to execute. And then our guys, every person that came in the game today gave us something, right? And when we did have some mistakes, we didn't compound them. I thought last game we had one turnover and it led to a bucket, and we turned it over and it led to a bucket. But we were able to sort of stop the bleeding, so to speak, and rectify those in those moments. But the league is a brutal travel at times, and when you can win at home, that's what you're supposed to do. And so for us to be able to get the first one and to do it here at home is special. So we'll celebrate all the wins that we get and be able to turn the page and look for the next one.
First conference win for you
Yep.
as head coach. Take a little time to celebrate that today before moving on to a couple road games.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying before, my mom, my dad's are in town, so we'll probably go out to eat. But my favorite player is playing at 5 o'clock. My son has a high school game that when I get to check out those, that's special. So hopefully he gets a win, so he's happy, and we can go out to get something to eat and celebrate. But it is, it's the job. We'll be focused, and I'll be watching film tonight, trying to figure out what's next, and preparing the week for our guys. But it is hard to win, and we have to make sure we celebrate the wins. And to do it at home again in front of this, I thought it was a good turnout today. The HTC can be a place that is intimidating to play, and it's a small venue, but it's a perfect venue, So for us to have people in the seats and be loud and cheer us on, it's okay. You can yell at me. I'm fine with that. But just come check us out and give us an opportunity and support our guys, because they deserve that opportunity to play in front of fans.
It's pretty evident early on that Noah had an advantage down in the paint. What was that balance between let's feed our hot hand, but also getting other guys moving, because he clearly had an advantage down there.
He's a guy to where we always say on offense we want to find a way to get two people on the basketball. It's sort of a safety valve at times. You throw it to him, two people or three people are all going to be around him. He does a good job of passing the basketball out. He can score one-on-one. He can score with two guys around him. He makes free throws. So for us, he's a dominant force, and we want to make sure that we're getting him involved in the game.
He seems to be a guy that you look at him, he looks to be getting better each game.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you compare him, the guy that he is today, compared to opening night?
Yeah, first of all, he got contacts and a mask in. He played with glasses before. I think that was a little different, his appearance. But, he's like a freshman. Didn't play a lot of minutes last year at his last university. And now having an opportunity to play, but the coaching staff that has confidence in him, his teammates that have confidence in him. You could tell now that the people in the building have confidence in him. And that has to just make him feel good, right? And we just want to make sure that we keep teaching him and he's doing what he needs to do and loving on him too, so he know how much we love him around here in Teal Nation.
Have you noticed too that he's wearing the mask? Obviously, it took an injury to the face. He's not scared of contact still. He's still going up. I mean, how important is that to kind of see that he's not timid with it?
Yeah, we're playing basketball, not pickleball, so we know he's going to get touched a little bit, right? And it's going to be physical, and I think he does more of the damage. He's 7'2", 280. He's not a small guard in there. So, and I think he's starting to embrace that. He got a dunk today, and he's yelling and he's emoting a little bit. He wasn't doing that in the beginning of the year. He just wasn't, and we need more of that out of him.
Talk about this other night. Closing out conference games is a little bit different than the non-con. Conference road games is a little bit different than conference home games. Talk to the guys this week about kind of that next challenge ahead. This is that next step in your season.
Yeah, it just sees where we are, and I think every time we go out, it's sort of a test for us, to see how we can respond to a scouting report or something different, or if we make adjustments to play on an environment where they're not cheering for you. You're not you're not expecting calls, you're not expecting any of those things. It's like just us. And I think we have a good enough nucleus and a good enough core and a good enough culture to be able to withstand some of that, and you look forward to adversity. It's our job as coaches to create adversity in practice. So sometimes, we are unbearable. We're not fair. It's not easy because we're trying to prepare them for moments that have come up in the game.
Coach, you talked physicality inside a little bit, and then early on in the game, you were able to really change the momentum with a couple of drawn charges on the defensive end at the end of the eighth of the game. How big of a piece of today's puzzle was that?
Yeah, we talk about our identity being defensively and the physicality that we play with. We don't get a lot of steals or block shots. It's just not, how we sort of built. But one way we can is we try to be physical on dribble handoffs. We try to be able to guard our guy and chase everything. We never go under, and that's just sort of how the rules are in the game. If they don't come to a stop, doesn't pop. If they keep running, sometimes it's contact, sometimes it's not. We just want to make sure we don't give up 3-point shots off of that. And, we tell our guys that comment, like, basketball is a physical sport. Sometimes you get hit. Sometimes you do the hitting. It is what it is, and our guys, are really prepared for that.
I thought you were saying something. I know that obviously, like, one of your players before said that he felt like the team kind of found that identity they were missing. And of course, going into conference play, like getting into the meat of things, like you can kind of lose yourself depending on what that outcome is. So do you also feel like that, or just kind of like regaining that confidence?
No, I think, our identity, coaching staff and head coach, we sort of set the tone for them. And I think, sometimes it's cute to score the points and make threes and do those things. And when we shoot the ball great, that's great. But when we don't, we still have to be able to defend. And I think that's the challenge at times. Like when you don't score, the basket doesn't go in, you sort of get a little bit lazy on the defensive end. We have some lapses. What we try to do is flip that and say we will make baskets because of how we defend. We will get stops. We will run out in transition. We'll be able to get easy points. We'll get extra possessions after that. And I think our guys really are buying into that.
And I know that you got to empty your bench a little bit more than usual. You got to have everybody kind of have those minutes. What does that mean for you to be able to see, them also excel, but like coming off of the bench?
Yeah, I think, we're not playing golf where it's an individual sport, so you need everybody. And we talked about Henry and we celebrated Henry in the locker room just because, yes, he's our captain, but day in and day out, he does everything the right way, right? And in life, it's hard sometimes when you think you're doing everything the right way and you are, and you don't get the result that you think you should get. And, I just had to congratulate him on trusting the process of that. not worrying about the results of it, but understanding the process is all he needed to focus on. And when he gets his opportunity, sometimes it goes good, sometimes it doesn't, but you play as hard as you possibly do, and you do exactly what we tell you. And Henry, that's why he's the captain. He does it every single day. And it's, our guys, like, they love him. So we celebrate him when he goes out there and he does things and he has success. And that's what we want to do for anybody that's out there.
We're good.
Thank you. I appreciate y'all.